Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we are doing our Week 14 NFL picks for 2020. We do this show every single week. If you guys want to check out other weeks, which I don't know why you would, maybe it's just a fun time, you can check that out as well down on my channel. We do this every single week, and we're going to have a great time today picking our 5 picks, one of those being a lock. We go in order of our confidence. 1 is at the end, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are obviously at the beginning because number 1 is our lock. Right now, me and Lucas are doing pretty good. Lucas especially. Lucas currently is 33-21, 8-5 on locks for a total of 41-26, which is 61.19% ROI. I'm at 24-30, but I am 9-4 on locks, 33-34 total, which is kind of close, 49.25% total ROI. So I got to raise mine up, and we're combined 74-60. Lucas is really carrying us on that end, but still looking good. If you guys are taking all of our picks, you guys should be winning some decent money. So Lucas, do you have anything to say before we get into this?
Nope. I think that we kind of had a down week last week, but I think we'll get a 10-0 sweep week one of these weeks before the season ends for sure.
For sure. So before we get into it real quick, I'd like to give you guys a quick word from our friends, our sponsor at MyBookie. That's where we get all of these lines for every single week. MyBookie is my favorite way to gamble. It is the most wonderful time of the year that can't end soon enough. We all deserve a win. We all deserve a little extra money in our pocket, and we all deserve a little fun. The only place you're guaranteed to get all three is at mybookie.ag. They're the only sportsbook that doesn't care whether you were naughty or nice this year. They've got gifts for everyone. Bet NFL, NBA, all your favorite college sports, and more. Sign up today and receive the ultimate stocking stuffer, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's a great place to start. But we all know Christmas is about what's under the tree. In MyBookie, that means huge deposit bonuses, epic giveaways, and free contests. It's simple. Sign up and enter promo code Notoriously at checkout and get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. Again, that is code Notoriously, Notoriously, Notoriously. I think I spelled it wrong, but it is what it is, at checkout. And then head over to MyBookie to make the most of the holidays this year and strut into 2021 with the cash in your pocket this winter. Bet with the best, bet with MyBookie. You can bet any sport on there. I know obviously this is an NFL show, but obviously you guys might like college basketball, all that stuff that's starting up, and the NBA is starting up soon as well. So make sure you use mybookie.ag, promo code Notoriously, to get that deposit bonus. So let's get into it, Lucas. Why don't you start us off today with your second most confident pick?
Sounds good. Yep. So coming at the second pick, I have the Bills and Steelers. I have the Bills minus 1.5. Um, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to these offenses, and I think the Bills have the much better offense right now. And I think where they have the advantage is they've seen the last 2 weeks how you can beat this Steelers team without having to do a whole lot. I mean, the football team's offense is pretty simple, and the Ravens' backups obviously nothing special. And they both almost won. One actually pulled off the upset. I think the Bills' offense is just clicking way too good right now to have this line only be 1.5. I believe it's I don't know if it's let's see if it's a home game or away game for the Steelers here. It is. Computer's being slow. It's
a home game for the Bills.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think this line is way too low. You're basically saying there's no home field advantage for traveling, nothing like that. So I think this is just just take the better offense, take the better quarterback, and just kind of ride with the hot streak of the Bills.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. The issue though is I feel like the Steelers we're going to lose this game if they beat Washington football team. This kind of seemed like a real big game that the Steelers needed to win in the season. But now that the Steelers lost last week, I'm not too sure if they're going to lose to the Buffalo Bills, but I do agree with your side on this game. Buffalo should be able to play pretty well. We saw them absolutely dismantle the 49ers last week. We saw the Steelers offense look very bad up against the Washington football team. The Washington football team is actually much better on defense than I thought. Obviously, their front seven is very good, but their secondary is ranked 3rd in the NFL, which I found kind of crazy, but I guess that's probably just because of the amount of pressure that the offense or the defensive line is able to get. So I like the Buffalo Bills here, though. I think Josh Allen should be fine, and Buffalo minus 1.5. I agree with Lucas. My second most confident pick is the Colts at the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going with the over 51. Now, the biggest gripe with this is sometimes the Colts just go to shutdown mode and start running the ball 7 million times in these games. But even when they're running the ball, they seem to be able to be scoring quite effectively. Jonathan Taylor has looked very good as of recently. Naheem Hines as well. For some reason, T.Y. Hilton has been awoken, and he's been doing good the last couple of weeks. And with obviously Michael Pittman and all the Colts receivers, I feel like the Colts should be able to score a decent amount of points in this one. The Raiders are shoehorned to score a zillion points pretty much every single game as well, unless for some reason Derek Carr was to get hurt or something. Even without Josh Jacobs, they were able to score on the Jets. Obviously, the Jets are a much easier defense to face than the Colts, but the Colts aren't 100% healthy, and I think that the Raiders will be able to do a good job here. These are two teams that are must-win games, and I don't think this one is going to be a very slow game where there's not a lot of points on the board. So I like the over 51. I would wish it was a bit lower, but I don't think you're going to get lower than 51 at this point. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think that it's a little bit lower than kind of if you flash back to like week 3, 4, 5, where like these totals in a game like this would have been like 54, 55. I think it's a good opportunity to kind of buy the dip a little bit at the 51. You said it right. Both teams have to win this game. They have to play good offense. And I would say they have to play good defense, but the defense has been allowing points all year anyway. So, yeah, I think the 51 here is a solid number to take the over.
All right. Who is your third most confident pick?
Yep, my third here is the Texans, a -1.5 against the Bears. Kind of surprised by this number, but kind of not, because I think the Bears kind of had some struggles, kind of some dumb mistakes last week, and they only lost by 4 to the Lions. But I think that's not me saying that they're going to fix that. And I think this line is kind of implying that the Bears are going to fix their dumb mistakes. So I'm just going to take the better quarterback, maybe the better coach with Cornell against Nagy, I guess you could say. But I'm just going to take the quarterback here. The Texans were one fumble away from winning the game last week against the Colts without Will Fuller. They looked fine on offense. So I'm going to take the better QB, the better offense. And honestly, both defenses aren't anything special. So I think this is a good line to buy the Texans low.
Yeah, this is a funny game in my opinion because the Texans, I think the Bears are going to want to win this game way more than the Texans, strictly just to prove the fact that they weren't completely wrong in drafting Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. That'll be like the narrative of this game, I think. I don't think this is a primetime game. Obviously, it's just like some random 1 o'clock game, so you probably won't hear a lot about it, but it's just funny that we finally see Deshaun Watson versus Mitch Trubisky. I think this is the first time they've played, but Houston -1.5 is the pick here. I agree. I don't like the Bears at all. I think the Bears are more of a fantasy offense, right? David Montgomery does good. Mitch Trubisky will do all right. Al Robinson will do good, but that doesn't mean that they're going to win this game. The Houston Texans are a much better team overall. Like you said, even without Will Fuller, Kiki Cootie really stood up last week and played quite well. Brandon Cooks was banged up in the game, still played all right. So I feel like Houston, I like your pick here. There's no way I'm betting on the Bears at this point in the season. The Bears are just bad. They haven't won since they were 5-1, I believe. So not too hot.
Yeah, they're not good.
Or for the Chicago Bears. Next game here for me, we got the Ravens at the Browns, and I like the over 47 now. First time we saw this game was like 2 weeks into the season or 3 weeks into the season. The Browns looked dead. The Ravens just rolled them. This point in the season, I feel like the Browns are the better football team. The Ravens will probably end up winning this game, but that's why I'm not trying to touch the spread on this. I'd rather just take the over under, and I'm going with over 47. I feel like both of these offenses are going to be scoring. The Ravens defense hasn't looked as great as I thought they would. I thought they'd really be able to lock down Dallas, but Dallas was able to run on them and was looking all right in the passing game. I mean, if CeeDee Lamb had any type of hands, they would have hit the over in that game because he hit him right in the hands at the end of the half. Andy Dalton, that is, and he dropped the ball. So I feel like the Ravens offense is pretty good. The Browns offense is pretty good. I think over 47 is the pick here. I just really can't see that going under unless, since it's the AFC North matchup, they both just lock each other down. But every time these two teams play, the Ravens normally just beat the shit out of them. So I feel like the Browns, if they're any good, like it seems like they are, will be able to score enough points to be able to hit the over 47. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty low line because you're kind of implying that the Browns defense is going to contain Lamar, which I think like, there's some truth to that. Like the Browns defense has been pretty solid
Yeah.
against the run or just getting pressure, but like getting pressure against a quarterback that can run is kind of irrelevant, I guess, in my opinion. So yeah, and I think Lamar's looked good running the last 2 weeks, kind of compared to what he has all year. So I think the points here is good. I think the Ravens win, but I don't really want to bet the Ravens side at all either. So I'll take the points in this game.
All right. Who's your next pick here?
Yeah, my next one here is the Saints and Eagles, and it's over 43. I don't have like a strong read on it, but I just feel like with the Jalen Hurts switch, this is that line is too low, then very subject to like backdoor
Yeah.
points to me. Like, I just think that having a running quarterback only helps your chances of breaking big plays, which only helps your chances of scoring points, which only helps your chances of hitting the over. And I think the Taysom Hill offense that is being worked on, I mean, you're kind of implying the line 6.5 or 7. Like, you're implying that this game ends to hit the over at 24-17. Like, that's, or no, I can't do math. 27, 20, I don't know, something in the 20 to teens, or I don't even know, 20, 27-20, I guess. And that'd be way over actually. But I mean,
Yeah.
same difference. So I think that that's definitely doable. Um, Saints really haven't had to play a rushing quarterback yet this year. And so I think it's going to be a good game to get some points and kind of buy low on maybe a backdoor over here.
All right, I have the same game as my fourth most confident pick, which is New Orleans -7. Now, this really, I don't know what to think about this game because I'm not sure if Jalen Hurts is going to actually even play the whole game. What if he sucks and goes like 2 for 12? And they're
Mhm.
down by 14.
Yeah.
Do they put in Wentz? Wentz might be able to backdoor cover this. That's the only issue, in my opinion, with New Orleans -7. I feel like Taysom Hill and friends in New Orleans are just better than the Saints. The defense should be able to play well. Now, I think the over can definitely happen because Taysom Hill himself and the offense could put up like 30 fucking points for the Saints against the Eagles. And then the Eagles just have to do a little bit to hit the over 43. So I do like that pick. I just feel like New Orleans is going to roll the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. The Eagles fucked us over a couple weeks ago on Seattle when we had Seattle -6.5, whatever that was, on that bullshit touchdown. So hopefully the Saints don't do us dirty. I like the Saints -7. Do you think you got a side on this game, or do you just prefer the over? Obviously.
I would say I'd probably just take the over because I don't know. And Taysom Hill winning by 7 against a rushing quarterback, I guess, kind of confuses me, you could say, or I don't know, just not really like a good read on it. So I'd just take the points probably.
Okay. And then who is your next pick here?
Yeah, my next one here is the Chiefs -7.5 against your Dolphins. And obviously, I mean, they'll see next. It's your lock. And the other side, I wish this was 7, but to me, that's why this is my fifth pick. To me, this is they have the opportunity to take over the 1 seed in a game where the Steelers are not favored in the same week. They came off not a bad week. I mean, like the Broncos played them good. They didn't really play bad, but like they can really come out and kind of like stomp a team that's a playoff team. They can. I mean, I just think it's like they're just going to come make a statement game. They're going to come win by 2 scores and then just show everybody that they're the best team. And the Steelers might lose, and then they're really just going to create this gap that won't be reachable for the Steelers. So I'm just going to take the points here. Just bet on Patrick Mahomes in this case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the pick, but I'll talk about why I like the Dolphins in a minute. So Cowboys at Bengals is my fifth pick, under 42.5. The real issue here is the over screams out to me like that's going to hit. But then again, I thought about it. The quarterback play in both of these teams for the Cowboys and the Bengals is suspect. The defense is also suspect. So maybe Zeke does really good. Or maybe the Cowboys score a bunch of points, but I don't really see the Bengals finding the end zone a million times to be able to get their way to over 42.5. I just overall don't like either of these teams. The Bengals probably shouldn't have scored at all up against the Dolphins. I guess that was like just a blown coverage on Tyler Boyd, and then Tyler Boyd started fighting people, and then 2 players got ejected in that game. That was just an absolute shit show for the Dolphins against Cincinnati. So I feel like the Cowboys will be able to play all right here, but I just don't trust this going over at all. So I'll take the under 42.5 because the Cowboys and the Bengals are both just straight up dumpster fires.
Yeah, this both offenses suck. I wouldn't take the over. And I mean, that seems pretty appropriate line for the under here.
Yeah. So my lock first, we'll talk about mine first, I guess, because we just talked about not Tyler, fucking Lucas. Chiefs versus Dolphins. Tyler's probably sleeping right now. Too
He
lazy to come
is.
on here. Miami +7.5 is my lock of the week right now. We are up by a zillion on Snacks and Animal, who we are going up against from Bagels and Locks. This isn't even a close race. Maybe they'll catch up if we just start losing every single time, but that just doesn't seem to be the trend. So Dolphins +7.5 is my lock of the week. Now, the reason why I like the Dolphins is because I'm a Dolphins fan. They are the number one in covering the spread right now, 9-3 at doing so. +7.5. Like Lucas said, he'd rather it be 7 because then they can obviously just cover at 7 and then you just split the money. It is what it is. You just take your money back. But +7.5, I feel like the Dolphins will play this game close. I think the only way the Dolphins really would be able to win this game is if Tyreek Hill is actually hobbled and injured going into the game. Maybe he misses. I don't think he does. But I think the Dolphins defense is very good. I'm not too sure I love the Dolphins, but I do think that they're They're my lock because they're my favorite team and because they've covered the spread the most in the NFL. So I'll just go ahead and accept the fact that they're the greatest at covering the spread and take them plus 7.5 and just hope they somehow are able to contain Patrick Mahomes. And because if this goes into shootout, the Dolphins lose 100% of the time. If the defense actually wakes up and plays well, I think Miami could cover the spread and potentially win the game. As a Dolphins fan, I want them to win, but I probably think the Chiefs are going to win if I'm being honest. The Chiefs are going to win, in my opinion, but Miami plus 7.5 seems a little too good for me. So what do you think about it? Obviously, you took
Yeah,
Kansas City, but
yeah. I mean, like I don't know. I think that it's just I'm going to take Mahomes in a game where they can take the 1 seed, but like I see where Dolphins defense could hold them, but Dolphins defense, like I don't know. I think this is the game where you'll see if Dolphins can actually ride their defense throughout the playoffs, or if
yeah,
it's just a good defense in general. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird line. Obviously, we're recording this on Friday a little later than usual, so maybe it was at 7 or 6.5 prior to
it
Friday. So
was at
maybe
7. I took it at 7 initially for the
yeah.
Dolphins.
So I mean, hopefully you take the Chiefs then. If you want the Chiefs out, if not, I still lean the 7.5. But obviously, my fifth pick is probably a little bit different than your lock. So.
Yeah. So who is your lock of the week here?
So mine is the Texans and Bears over 45.5. This line just seems super, super low to me because you're implying that I think a top four quarterback, three quarterback in the league
Yeah.
against, I mean, I guess good, but like it hasn't seemed to matter who he's played going against, I think a scorable or point getter quarterback in Trubisky against a really terrible defense. Like this just seems way too low. I mean, Texans Colts hit 46 last week, and the Texans should have scored at the end to make it 50, 52, 53. Like
Yeah.
this line seems way too low for me. So I'm just going to take the points, take the over here, and just I think this game's going to be kind of a shootout here.
Yeah, I don't even know how it's 45.5. Maybe it's just the perception on Mitchell Trubisky just being bad, but Trubisky just scores points. David Montgomery has been scoring 7 million points. He just gets the ball moving. And up against the Houston Texans, the Texans defense is awful. Even if the Bears defense is somewhat decent, they're nowhere near the Bears of like 2 years ago where they were complete and utter lockdown. Deshaun Watson will be able to put up some points here. So I agree with you, over 45.5. So do you have anything to say before we skedaddle out of here?
Nope, nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy. So make sure you guys check out Lucas on Twitter at is it at Lucas Caser or is it at Caser underscore?
Uh,
It's on the screen.
Chaser underscore. I put a fleet up on like Tuesday or Wednesday. That was the first one in a while. So
Wow, look at Lucas using Twitter. So check him out on there. Make sure you guys also check out mybookie.ag, promo code notoriously at checkout to get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000 reduce. So make sure you guys have a great rest of your guys' day. I'm not sure when this video will come out. It's either coming out right after we end up leaving here or tonight on Friday night. So I hope that you guys do end up enjoying this video. And if you did, let us know down below. And also let us know down below your guys' picks. I understand everyone's just going to leave fantasy questions. That's just a given. But leave your gambling picks as well. Last night I slayed Tyler. Tyler wanted to take the over in that game of the fucking Patriots versus the Rams. That was just a murder. The Patriots are so bad. I don't know how they beat the Chargers by that much. Obviously, we're not going to have a nice discussion about that here. We're just going to get out of here. But the Chargers are bad. Fuck Justin Herbert. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Goodbye.